Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Alright, that is probably the cheesiest introduction ever. Shame I'm keeping this live. Can we delete this? Can we undo it? Is there a restart button? There's not. It's alright. Anyways, welcome to the show, everybody. Get set. Oh my goodness, I can hear me. Oh, that's even worse. Oh, what an ultimate kapow. Jeez, let's see. Oh man, that was so bad. Uh, and I'm in the bathroom. And are we really starting this? This is supposed to be about morals. Today's show is supposed. Well, I mean, I guess what a better spot today to talk about morals and morality when you really start thinking about it. Is this? Yeah, let me look around. Gee, that toilet, man. Oh, you guys can't see the toilet. Don't worry, it's probably good. Never mind. It's so bad over there. So, yeah. Anyways, welcome everybody. So we're gonna start right on in today. But before we do, let's introduce our number one, our number two. Oh wait, I thought I was number one and two. Shit. Well, we'll let them figure it out. So who's number one and who's number two? Oh!
Got a lot to talk about, a lot of good ideas, and looking forward to this talk on morality. The difference between right and wrong.
Well, that's a scary thought. Well, you got elected as number two then. You want to say hello? This should be a good topic. Well, so as promised, I figured we'd just jump right on into it right away. So let's Scott's mic is off or very low? Oh. Noted. Fixed. Can you hear them now? There we go. All right, there we go. I'm sorry. We were fixing. Oh my Jesus. Gee, oh man, that was so. Oh my holy. It's okay. Don't worry. We had a great behind the scenes. A womp womp womp. I don't know if they could hear or not, but everybody at home could. So, anyways, my story today. Well, it involves my grandfather, and so he's a little older. Well, holy cow, he's 84. So let's just right away just start talking about the morality part before we even get into the morals. Holy Jesus. Morality. Do you know we all get to die sometime? Some of us live for a couple seconds, some for hundreds of years, 100 years or so, some for 10, 20, 30. One of these co-hosts over here, holy bazolies, one of these guys could already be past the halfway point. Like right now, one of us could be having a midlife crisis and not even knowing it. Jeez Louise. But it makes you start thinking about DNA. It makes you start thinking about longevity. Now, DNA comes in all sorts of sizes, right? And then, let's talk about it. You got me. I'm not exactly the biggest. Yeah, I'm a red panda right now. All right, so we're a little tiny, right? Hey, don't you be making fun of the 2-inch gang. All right, listen. Just because they can't see your behind the scene face, I can still see you, okay? I can see that face you're making when I'm talking about being too. Don't you? Oh yeah. You think you're funny? Think you're funny? No, you're not. Oh, don't worry. We'll get to you. It doesn't pertain to anybody. But don't worry. We'll get to it. So back to it. Listen. This guy. Okay, stop. Man, he's still. You guys. He's still yeah. Oh, sure, I put the camera on you and then he straightens up. This guy was making goofy faces the whole time. He thinks he's so funny. Focus. We're trying to tell a humbling, wholesome story over here. I see you behind the scenes. You settle down. I'll leave the camera on you the entire time. Well, morality is something that everybody has to deal with eventually. Sometimes you think about it, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you got to have something crazy happen, and then it's on your mind. The point that I was trying to get to is that it's about sometimes your DNA, though, and longevity, right? Some are blessed with short lives, long lives, who knows? back to where I was getting with this. Some of us are big, some of us are small, and right now, I'm a little 2 foot panda, so we'll just roll with it. That being said, imagine you got picked on your entire life as a kid, and then you live a long, 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 long time. All those people that picked on you as a kid, suddenly they're not there anymore. And I don't know, I guess we could be savage and say it. Because I was even having this conversation with my grandfather. Imagine, like in my grandfather's case, living to 84, and all of those punk kids that picked on him as a kid, man, he can literally go pick up on every single one of their wives now. And he could probably have all. Listen, this man is loaded, all right? Grandpa, I'm sorry, I'm not trying. But, the guy's doing all right. He's got a big house, big car. He don't need no stop. He don't need nobody. Not today, not tomorrow. This man could probably hire a new personal chauffeur every single day. And so all these people that were making fun of him, ha, 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 this guy could literally go over and, I mean, I guess for lack of better words, right? Just start like, I don't know, like dancing on the grave. Like just imagine him getting out there like dancey, 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 dancey. So sometimes just because you're laughing today does not mean you're going to be laughing tomorrow. Or now that I'm a little older, I look back at all the people who thought they were so cute, so beautiful. We're going to be so rich when they grew up. And I look at them now and I'm just like, oh man. But sometimes that takes a toll. And on that same point, tying it into morals, good people unfortunately don't always win, and bad people don't always lose. So some people grow up thinking that way, and then holy cow, they just grab life by the rawr, and they get it, man. They literally tell you they're gonna do it, and then they do it. Some people they do it and then they lose it. I mean, shit, we could go on that forever. There's so much. It's like quit it, quit it. There's so many different routes that can take, but at the end of the, at the end of the day, it's really what you make of it, but there's still a good line of the morals of the good, the bad, what you do with it, the whole karma, and it's where you want to take it, what you want to do with it. I don't know where I'm going with this at a point. I'm sorry. I'll stick to my notes. I'll stick to my notes. I guess the end point, looking at the notes, is it's a new year here. You're supposed to start thinking about all this stuff. Have I been good? Have I been bad? We just dealt with all that with the Christmas bullshit. And now it's, oh my God, am I fat? Am I skinny? Have I been going to the gym? Holy Jesus, Bob and Margaret. Did you see all this fat? Oh, this was not here last. Jesus, criminy. And it's the time of reflection. We start thinking about all that crap. It's like, okay, I saw you the once a year. I got enough of my family, and I thought about all the crappy stuff. I'll see you next year. I'll see you next year. It's like, right or wrong, I'll still see you next year. Maybe I'll be thinner. Maybe I'll be, I don't know, a couple pounds heavier. But is that particularly bad? Is that wrong to all of a sudden start thinking that stuff? And why is it always at this time of the year we start thinking of all of our morals and how old we are and all of the cool things we missed out on? And holy bazolies, I can't tell you how many times recently I had to hear about, well, I remember when I was a young whippersnapper and it was this way and that. Holy bazolies. Holy bazolies. So to tie into it, to finally let everybody else talk, now that we're kind of getting there. So our first question of the day, now that we started rattling off on there. So you two, and we can go with Vladimir on this one first. Religion, age of your family, of your family. Have you ever stopped to start thinking, holy cow, my father only lived till, or my grandfather only lived till. I only have so much time left.
There's a kung fu panda video that I've seen where I think it was rescued. It was the turtle, the sensei, and what he said was, it's called a present because you're living in the present, and it's something similar to that. I wish I could remember that quote, but it was just so resonating, coming from a children's movie, where it's like, wow, you make everything count. You do projects, you collaborate, build somewhat of a legacy, further expand mankind. So I think it's this way of just being positive, living it, and yeah,
No, that's a good. I don't see anything wrong with that. Feels over there. Was this too deep right away?
Well,
I see you taking notes.
really deep, and I want to say, like, hey, it's great to be here. That was a great intro. I actually like this topic too. But at first, I thought you were talking about mortality because you're talking about death, and then there's morality, which is like good and bad. But
Both.
the way
Okay,
it all
so
kind of
both.
ties
Absolutely both.
like, if you think about like the origin of the word, I mean, they're very similar,
Mhm.
right? But basically, like, what I wanted to say was like, I mean, you've actually made a lot of good points that like I want to touch base on. One of them was like, like how you say like some people got good DNA, some people live till they're 20, some live to 100 and they smoke cigarettes their whole life or whatever. Like, and then you get people that get cancer at 30 and die or whatever. Like, so it's like, but I want to look at it in a different light. I want to say they're just blessed to have been alive, because you could be the infant that never got born, or you know what I mean. Was it better to not be born at all? We don't know the veil behind our birth, but that doesn't mean there's not something after or before. But that's just, I mean, I'm just saying it's a blessing to be here alive, and it's a pleasure. You know what I mean? You just want to live your best life. A lot of older people used to tell me when I was younger, like, oh, you got all the time in the world to do whatever you want, and I never liked that advice. I'm like, no, because you have to do it now, whatever it is. Like how you're talking about, whether it's collaboration or go to school or something to progress your life. Like you said, expansion. You always got to be expanding. Whether your interest is like once your mind expands, you can't go back to the regular size, right? It's like you can't unsee what you saw. You can't unless you get like action, like I mean, there is. I guess there is technically some ways, but basically, it's like once that expansion happens, there's no reversing in life. That's what I found out. It's like you just have to keep moving forward. Take the punches as they come. You have good days, bad days. Like how you're talking about, like, I don't have to imagine getting picked on. I was picked on all the time. I used to be the shortest kid in the class. Me and Jose, we were but like you were saying, like those guys are having heart attacks at 40, 50, or who knows? It's like the death of a salesman. They were a star in high school. They were the football stud or the athlete or whatever. And I'm not hating on that. I was an athlete too. So, but I'm just saying, it's like if that's all you got going for you, and you're not doing anything else, it's like if you haven't seen Death of Salesman, it's basically a story about his dad. The dad was always like pressing his kid, hey, you got to be good at football. And, like that's all he did, and he got really good at it. But then he didn't like. He had no other interests. Like he wasn't like diverse in anything. So he was just like stuck on that one idea of like for America's children. You know what I'm talking about? Like you can't. It's like you can't water what happened yesterday. I mean, you got to water the tree every day, every week, to keep it going. And basically, life is harder when you take the easy route. And if you make difficult decisions, now the opposite would be if you make decisions now, hard decisions now, do the hard work now, life will become easier later. It's like when you see someone. I like to use an instrument. When someone's playing an instrument, they're proficient at it and they're a master at it. It looks easy because you're just seeing it all come together like right away. Or a master painter, like go watch Bob Ross. Like when he paints something, it looks just so easy. But it's because he's practiced those brushstrokes thousands of times. And so what's right or what's wrong? Yeah, I got a little ramble there. But what's right or what's wrong is that's something that you probably learn from your parents to start. And then it's your peers, going to school around the kids. And then some people will believe, and it may or may not be true. I don't know. But
I'm just saying that it's like, okay, there's a ultimate being or a universe, or there is like an inherent good and bad, evil, that like evil and good that's out there, where it's like everybody intuitively just knows what's right and what's wrong. And, and that's not including like being ignorant about something, but that's kind of like my take on that. Yeah, that, back to you, Mad Hatter.
Well, okay, I think the biggest thing that you caught there, and yeah, so your first question was, wait, is this about morals or morality? And so the biggest thing is, well, you can't really have morality without morals. And so it goes back to the biggest, in my opinion, when you get older, you start thinking of morality, but doesn't that start thinking about your morals? Did you do good? Did you do bad? Again, that's that whole Christmas thing that I'm talking about. Isn't it almost ironic where every single time you start talking about good and bad, it's always the same damn time of year. We're supposed to be so happy and jolly, and we're programmed into this mind of like, well, you gotta be a good little boy. You gotta do everything right. Like, what do you mean? Like, who started these damn traditions? Who started these damn traditions and decided what was right and what was wrong? Like, okay, in your guys', I mean, you can float this wherever you want to take this question, but what do you think the purpose of morals and morality is?
Oh, man.
The purpose of morality and morals. Okay, well.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one, because that's like, it's kind of like you just have to theorize on it. I don't think there's really a right or wrong answer, which is ironic. We're talking about morality, yeah.
I could give you a scientific explanation.
Okay, go ahead. Give us a scientific explanation. Let's start from this. Yeah, let's define. That's a good point. Let's define it, actually.
So I'm thinking it in a way where morality based on cellular regrowth. I know I'm probably morality, or there's a similar word that sounds to morality that I get confused. Morals.
Where have you been this last?
Okay, mortality is when you die, or like death.
Here, let me help you out. Okay, so for those
we should define it though. Yeah.
Morality, the principles concerning the distinction between right and wrong, or good and bad behavior.
Oh wow.
He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. But it's like they're trying to get you to do good, right? Or just to shut up your mouth. Hey, it depends on if you're a bad kid or not.
So I would say
get in line. It's like it's a mind control.
I would just.
It could be used.
It's more of a uniform. How do I say this?
Conformity.
Conformity towards like the. How do I say this?
The narrative. But like, whose narrative? It's like I'm saying, yeah. Like,
yeah, it's pretty much
who's in power.
Who's in power? But like, it's like you have to generate. Oh my god, it was off. It was off this whole time. You guys didn't hear the embarrassment I just mentioned. What I was about to say, the idea of morality is very interesting. It's the good and the bad, and I'm seeing it as following the blueprint of how you want to live your life. We are gods of our own reality. We want something. We work for it. We want to do it in such a way where it's like it doesn't hurt anybody and everybody's happy. You want to buy that car? Buy it, but you have to work harder for it.
Right.
And that's why. It's the idea, it's the principle of adjusting towards society to where we have a better understanding of how to function that's both productive. Because same thing with colonization with ants, there's a queen and there's a whole system that they go through, the ants, and they build hives. They constantly build. And that's the way that we have to see it, is we are all in this together. We are building. We are all like connecting the dots in like this map, and we're making everything just flow. Like it's it's like a think of a blob, but every time it's like rolling and everything is like doing what it's supposed to, and it's like and it creates like that perfect idea of just like prosperity and like just where everything just works, and it's like wow, you know, it's the idea of just like you we did it as humans. Are you kidding me? Like we turned a rock from we took a rock and we turned that shit into Wi-Fi. We took a rock and we turned that shit
Jesus.
into
All right.
Wait,
Rock
you
to
took a potato
Wi-Fi.
into a clock too. So
All right, walk to Wi-Fi. So okay, so let's talk about because I know you've been to church and all that stuff.
Oh.
Whether you still go or don't go, we don't need to talk about that. But I know you're a church goer. Maybe you're still not attending. Maybe you are. Whatever. So let's talk about the teamwork that sometimes happens in church. When I go to church, I find that everybody's nice. We're together. We sing Kumbaya, my Lord. We even hold hands, do prayers, hymns, give each other nice high fives. And then it's weird. We get into the parking lot, and suddenly it's, hey, man, get out the way. Hey. Hey. No. What is... So at what point are we in this for real teamwork, or are we still to ourselves? Are we only here for each other when it's convenient? Are we really here for each other? Like when we're in church, we're like, oh yeah, bud, I'm with you. But are we only with them because it's convenient to sit in that chair at that time, at that moment? And the second I got somewhere to be, buddy, get the hell out of my way. I'm done praising to Jesus. I'll see y'all next week, baby. I did my time.
it's like the only place you won't fight over somebody is the water fountain at church. But it's like when you go outside, it's like this guy's backing into me, or it's like, all right, have you ever had this experience when you're driving somewhere and like you're going to this destination, or whatever, and let's just say, and sometimes you're actually in the right, but let's just say this time you're in the wrong, where you're speeding, and then you're tailgating somebody, and you're trying to turn, you're in a hurry, you're trying to get somewhere, and the next thing you know, it's like some guy's like following you, honking, and then like he almost hit you supposedly, and like he's going and yelling at you, and the next thing you know, you guys are like parking next to each other. And it's like, oh, that's like, you just seen that guy. Now you're like walking in the store together.
Oh, that's so
It's like such this awkward experience. It's like, and then it's like, were you really that mad just because I didn't turn on my blinker or something? And I'm pretty good at the blinker. I'm just saying, like, some people, it's like how you're saying, like, people get mad over the dumbest little things. Like I just seen a car crash actually like this week, or maybe it was last week, like really recently. So I was just driving to work, and it's like one of those things, like if I was just literally like 2 more seconds ahead, and if I was actually, for some reason I was driving a little bit differently. Normally I go in the far left lane right away, but this time I waited like an extra minute. But like within like that 1 minute, there was a car crash that happened so fast, like on the left. I think it was like some kind of SUV, and then just like it like turned aside, and like it was like drifting, and it was like scratching like that middle center, that center divider. It was like an all mashed up parts everywhere, flying like 50 feet and everything. And I was like, luckily I was 4 lanes over, you know what I mean? So I was in the slow lane, and I just went past. I was like, man, that could have been me, because normally I'd been left and I'd be slamming on the brakes. It would have been all bad. And I'm just like, that's why you don't have road rage, because all you got to do is one little slip.
Oh.
Actually, I had a buddy die last year. Or actually, I think it might have been this year. It was like, you know, maybe 6-8 months ago.
Oh.
He was only 36 years old, and he wasn't driving. Actually, his friend was driving, and it was a single vehicle car crash. His friend was driving, and he just lost control of the vehicle, and like I mean, yeah, he was going like probably like 100 though in a 55. I mean, he was in back road country in Kansas, you know.
My condolences.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, he was a good guy. He had 2-3 kids too. You know, that just sucks to be without a dad.
Oh,
I'd imagine. Obviously, it's devastating. You know what I mean? But that guy lived life to the fullest. So, but anyway, what I'm getting at is like your life could change that quick, and second, it's like, you know, don't try it. You know, just when it comes to like the road rage, you're like, don't get mad over little things. Like I had a Lyft driver pull like. I seen him in my river. He crossed over 3 lanes, and he gets behind me, starts slamming on his slamming the horn. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? And then, like, because I just seen him cross 3 lanes, and he's like saying that because he's getting mad that I'm not going that fast.
Oh.
And he doesn't know the reason why I was going slow is because there was a bunch of traffic, and then like it was barely starting to break out. So it's like, of course I'm not going to just slam on the gas. Like you don't have to like do pedal to the metal everywhere. Anyway, the dude like pulls over, and like he gets out of his car, and then like he's trying to fight, and he's like a veteran, he says. And I said, well, my grandpa's a veteran. He's like, well, F your grandpa. I was like, well, see, nobody cares about you if you can't care about somebody else. So there's a lot of negative people in this world. But anyway, like the guy gets out of the car, and then like a passenger gets out. I'm like, wait a minute, you're a Lyft driver? He's like, yeah. He's like Lyft. I think it was Lyft. I was like, what a joke. But I'm just saying, like, people don't like. You just gotta calm down.
I could resonate.
That's not the place to fight.
Yesterday, I saw a cat get hit in the middle of a highway.
I knew he was going to tell
And
the cat story.
you brought up morality, and I was very distraught. I was really upset. Literally. And you know what Mad Hatter did? He has a little playback feature in his little Tesla, and basically he tried to make it all chill and calm me down. He's like, "Oh no, the car stopped for him. It's okay." Yeah, no. We found the playback footage. No, the car didn't stop. The car didn't stop. The guy hit the cat. And that hurt. Oh. No, but I was very distraught about that. It was like he just tried to calm me down, and I was like, no, I know what I saw. And I saw a smile on him. I was like, I knew it. You were laughing. No. But yeah, that happened yesterday. Going to the gym. So,
Oh wow.
Yeah. And yeah. So
Yeah, it's a savage world out there, even for the animals. And I'm kind of against putting a cat down, or even a dog. I mean, unless like they blatantly like killing babies or something, you know, or biting people.
what was it doing
But
in
like,
the middle
I
of the
just,
highway?
I just feel like but some people won't agree with what I'm about to say anyway. But basically, I would just say, all right, let them out in the wild and let them do whatever happens. You know what I mean? Like, let nature take its course. Like, I'm not going to go out of my way to euthanize this cat just because there's too many cats, or euthanize this dog. I'm like, but at the same time, I'm like against somebody like, oh, I'm going to breed like 20 cats and just like don't throw them out on the streets. Like, well, what are you even breeding cats for, or whatever? Or like, if they don't sell, they just abandon it or whatever. Like, I'm just saying, let the animals be animals. I don't know. You can have a pet, I guess, but if you're going to have a pet, you take care of it. You know what I mean? But I just, like, when there's a lot of strays and stuff, it just feels kind of weird that we just like kill them. To me, that's just weird. Like, just let them be in the streets. They're gonna die anyway, naturally, right? You know, even if it's another day, give them another day.
Not wrong about that, especially with the conditions we have here.
I mean, why are we
That
paying
makes
all this
sense.
money to like kill them? Just it's also a money thing too. I actually don't know where the money is, but I mean, it could be just all donations and stuff, like a nonprofit that's going around. Like these, I mean, the Kill Humane Shelter. I mean, I don't know if they have humane in the word.
No, what they do
Talking
is
about animal shelter, right? The kill shelters. Yeah.
oh yeah, they take animals from the outside and they basically cut their ear to indicate that the cat is neutered and it has its shots.
Okay.
So that's what there's organizations such as like that to prevent overpopulation with the cats or dog, mostly cats. So that's a good organization, but other than that, euthanization in general is
Yeah.
it's just like what?
So I would say that's kind of like you take a bucket to the ocean and take out a bucket of water and take it home with you. And like you're gonna clean up the ocean because of that. Like I'm like there's like tens of millions of animals, and like you're gonna have a doctor like sit there and like do surgery on all of them. I'm just saying it's not practical to like actually solve. Like, I mean it's still a step in the right direction, but I'm like that there's definitely like worse things. I mean, there's got to be a better solution. Is what I mean, like that's a good solution. Like that's cool. Like because now it's like you're at least stopping the progression of the breeding. You know what I mean? To the overpopulation, like you're saying. But it's like, is it realistic to really do like 3 million surgeries? I don't know. Maybe it's possible. But it's just like, imagine if you're like, hey, 100 million people need to like do something. They need to get like a cyst removed. Like only so many specialists can actually do it. Whatever that is. Like the cat thing. So I don't know. It just seems like impractical to do. I mean, in other words, that's one solution. But it doesn't cover all the problem, I guess. Right? Like the problem's too big for that one solution. At least the way I see it right now. Yeah. Like, how many cats are there? There's.
Okay, well, hold on. Let's tie into this. 'Cause I think easily the biggest thing is probably disease, right? Or there's already more cats than people in some cities. Not every city, but that's absolutely a thing. And so if we don't start putting them down, unfortunately, do they start taking over and ruining our society in the sense on they're going to start pooping everywhere? Food rationing, disease, I mean, the whole 9 yards. And so at what point is it like, well, let them live one more day Yeah, but if I let him live one more day on that street, then I might have to go find him, and maybe I can, maybe I can't. The disease, or they start dying and they're floating in my water, and so at what point, going back to the whole moral end, is it okay to start killing these dudes? Because if we don't, inevitably they are gonna kill us.
That's a good point. That's actually, yeah, that's awesome. Because that's like the reality is, it's like, okay, who's going to be the one to pull the trigger though? Is it just, am I saying that because intuitively or like, oh, I don't want to be the one killing him? But it's like, if it came down to where this cat is diseased, or because I'm thinking like just the bodies, like human bodies, why we dispose of them in certain ways? Because they are going to cause disease potentially, and you know, their smell, and it's vile, it's bad. That's why we bury it 6 feet deep. We found out that's what gets rid of it, you know, that gets it out of sight, out of mind, you know. But it's like, you're right. Like, okay, one day out there, it's like, we got it in our possession now. We could kill it, or we can, hey, we spayed it at least, and like now we find a home for it. Like, we're not just throwing it out in the street, right? That is definitely better than just, you know. I guess what I'm saying is like going around like trying to find and catch the strays. But I guess it's like, well, it's just like if you have a bum in your house, living under your house, you're gonna like, that's gonna take care of that. You know what I mean? Like, something's got to change, right? So that actually brings up a good point. Yeah. Someone's got to, so back to that morality, is someone has to eventually make a decision. Like, I could say all day, oh, I want to do the right thing, but it's like sometimes the right thing is like the opposite of what you would think. Like, okay, it is euthanizing that cat because it's going to cost, because now we have it right now. It's going to be a problem later that's going to be worse, like potentially killing somebody or spreading disease, and then and so on.
Well, so I guess tying in again, just to keep the conversation rolling, I think some of it is preparation, right? On our part, where if we know it's a problem, going back to what Vladimir was saying with the ants, they all follow the queen, they prepare, they get their society ready, and they also, whenever a problem happens, they continue the teamwork and continue on that same route. And same thing to your point when you're talking about burying something. Ants, you can mess with them with different smells, pheromones, and they'll react accordingly. There's certain smells that remind them of death, and so they will literally start packing dead bodies on top of that because that's just where they assume death is all of a sudden. Or they'll smell death in a different way and start being like, oh, no. And they'll bury it until they can't do it anymore. Back to the cat situation, because, I don't know, it's entertaining for a little bit, are we just not preparing ourselves? Is it just our own damn laziness, our own lack of concern, where it's like, oh, well, it's a problem, but what do you do?
What I would say, it's like being in limbo. It's like saying I'm the guy that says no matter what, never kill an animal, and then you're like, well, dude, I got this dead cat like in my street. Like, come on now, like there's got to be a service. Like in the chat, it was like animal control is a necessary evil, right? I would even say it's evil. It's just necessary, right? But it's like if I have the idea of like I don't want to change, and I say never kill, and then his idea is always kill, or at least just not what I have. Like, he's like, there's another solution, right? Not necessarily he's extreme, but I'm saying if one person's extreme, then like it's just I'm not going to change. But it's like, so I'm going to call it evil, or I'm going to call it bad, but like you have, at some point you got to have a practical solution. You got to do something. It's just like I give thanks to all the people that had died before us because they taught us something, like the doctors that had like looked at a dead body, and then like eventually we learned like what the anatomy is, and now we're actually saving people, but a lot of people had to die to get to that knowledge, so it's kind of more so just, hey, just be grateful, and you could be kind and all that stuff, but like someone's got to like lay the hammer every now and then, and like, yeah, and then who's to judge? I'm more like, how do I just stand back from it and like not affect it? Meaning like, because what about a worm? There's like this, I think it's like a worm or some kind of bacteria. It's like the disease, okay? It gets into these cats. It gets into rats. And what it makes to rats, it makes them sexually attractive to cat piss. So when the rat will actually go into a group of cats and like try to like jump on the cats and stuff. And the cats are like, dude, what are you doing? Like they start slapping it because like, it's got infected with, it's like a parasite that got infected in the rat's brain that makes it, like I said, attracted to cat piss. So where's cat piss? Where cats are, right? So it goes over there, and then it's trying to get eaten because it really wants to get into the digestive system of the cat. That's actually what is really trying to happen. But that's like the purpose of that parasite. So it's like, is the parasite good and bad? Like, you know what I mean? You could say we're parasites off the earth, though, too, though. See, so it's like, words are, like, powerful, right? So it's like, who am I to judge that's the parasite? But that's kind of, or is it just a way of nature to, like, check itself? Where it's like, hey, there's too many cats. I mean, too many rats. So, like, you know, a disease is created, so to speak. Like, is it possible that diseases could just get created, you know, naturally? I think with a long enough time frame, it seems like it. I mean, there's plenty of things that could kill us, but there's plenty. But like we've also gone past that. But as we've gone past that, then other diseases could come and kill us. And out there in space, man, everything's dead. So just be glad we have something at least to go by. And you know, we're here living and breathing. Every day's a blessing. You know.
Absolutely right.
That was so beautiful. Give him.
Thank you.
Give him. Look at you over there, Vladimir.
Yeah.
Today's funniest thing of the day, we had to stop and actually explain what morality was after talking about it. After hearing his thought of morality, I literally asked him about it, and he's like, "Oh wait, what is morality again?" Like, what?
No, I'm saying it right.
That had to have been the most beautiful of all. Wait, what?
No, nothing.
What?
Morality is the reality.
Is this too tough of a topic for you?
No.
Does thinking about that you might okay? So let's step into that one. I'll do a little bit of bullying for a little bit in a totally different way.
Oh.
So I recently found out on my mother's side, my grandmother's and my grandfather's side, basically everyone lives 90 to 105. Like, what the heck?
Oh, God.
So holy jeez, everybody lives to like 100, 105. What a bless. So even though you're younger than me, are we maybe counting down wrong? Like, okay, so let's do this. Like, say this young man over here lives till 70, but I get to live till 105.
Ooh.
Who's really older than who?
Whoa.
If we're going by negative, how many years I have left, not how many years I've been here, but how many I have left. I mean, that's where it gets into a tricky one, you know? Like, who's really gonna be here longer? It goes back to that whole DNA thing on just because you think you got this big buff, just because you think you're this big buff strong guy, and you can just like whap throw people, you know, where you just wave at them, you're like, bye, you know, the type where they're like, yes, and man, they just grab you and whoo, you know, those guys,
Dude, it's like the Viking DNA. Like the Vikings, they used to just like for thousands of years or something like that. They were just like they'd like run out of food or something, or they're just bored, and then they just go across, and then they would just conquer like North Ireland or whatever it was, like North France. Don't quote me, I'm geography, but like, I've read about like they just conquer and destroy. Like these guys are like massive mountain men type of people.
Damn.
You know, like, but it's like they're living till they're like 25, 30 because they're just getting killed. You know, but like that's like the warrior DNA. You know, and like they were like, and look at it this way, just the fact that all of us, everybody alive today has like warrior DNA in there somewhere, right? Because we all, you know, I think we're all mixed enough. Like at this point, you know. Because like if we've been, I mean, history is like what, like 50,000 years, something like that, and then it's prehistory, and it's like, so how long were humans around? Like it could be millions of years for all we know, right? You know, the evolution process, you know. But basically, it's like, yeah, some people are just like born to be warriors and killers and like be muscle mass and like, but you know, they're also dying at 47. They're having heart attacks and or whatever, just like, you know, especially the ones that are doing like illegal substances and all that kind of stuff, like abusing your body, you know, and that's like voluntarily abusing your body. I'm not saying going to war and like fighting for your country, your loved ones, and that kind of thing. Like that's honor. Ooh. Like what's the point of just like, hey, I'm gonna look this? It's too much aesthetics. Like you want to, like my opinion when it comes to working out and stuff, it's all about longevity. Like, and that's where, you know, and a lot of things could tie into that, but it's like, don't you just want to live long? And I ask people this, and they say, no, I don't. And I don't know why they say that. They're like, well, it's like, and I see old people all the time. And I've seen guys that are in their 95 years old with no disease, and they're still walking around and driving a car and everything. Oh. So there are people that are really sharp out there that could be that age. Now, Yeah, it's not all of them, but you know, they're usually when I see people 80s, 90s, they're usually in pretty good shape. Not all the time though, but I mean, like I would say like a good heavy majority of them are, and it's like it's something as simple as just like they do a walking routine, a light exercise routine. I think when you're vain about something too much, then it just becomes an unhealthy obsession. I think there are good obsessions, but that it's a fine line though, between what's unhealthy and healthy, because it could be unhealthy because like now your relationships are going bad, or it could be unhealthy because well, I mean that's just like say you're losing now you're not able to go to work because you're sacrificing something else. In other words, you're sacrificing in some area of life because you're prioritizing one in sacrifice of another. But you do have to do that in life actually, but if you do it too much in one sector, then like you're going to go down the tubes. Einstein couldn't even tie his shoes supposedly.
Me too.
He was so specialized.
But isn't that how it usually works? And so we won't say names, but me and Vladimir have a mutual friend who, man, I think he's one of the smartest people ever. But then when I take him out to eat, socializing is just fine. No, I mean, not really a problem. Kind of a little bit, but not really. But when you watch this man eat, he literally puts two hands on the cup and kind of shakes and like sips it because his hand-eye coordination is so, like, I love this guy, man. I do. But watching him sometimes drink coffee was the hardest thing ever, where I'm like, buddy, you're so damn smart. But he was so nervous or so worried about embarrassing himself because I and a couple other friends were watching him do it. He more or less had an anxiety attack. I kid you not, the guy, he just couldn't do it.
What? An anxiety attack? When was that?
Well, sometimes you're so smart, back to what he was saying is, you're so smart and so good at things, then sometimes the littlest things that we take for granted are such a struggle because it's just, the motor, it was, I mean,
Stephen Hawking.
IQ and motor skills don't always line up. That's not really what I was getting at, is his motor skills are good. Like, the guy plays sports. They're there. Like, the guy plays sports just fine. It was more a self-inflicted temporary motor skill issue because of the embarrassment or the worry of the socializing and drinking this cup of coffee in front of others. And that was the big, like, whoa!
What?
Oh, I left them on screen.
I mean, yeah, just the whole social thing about that is like, a lot of people just, especially with the pandemic and all that, people just staying inside and not getting out there. But I think even before like the pandemic and any of that, people are just bad at socializing because like video games came out, and like people, you could just sit at home and be entertained all day. And even before that, you could say it's not just video games. I'm not blaming video games. But it's part of it, because then you had TV. I mean, the TV is the same thing. But then it could be, okay, and then it goes before that. Well, the radio, people just sit there and listen to radio for 8 hours. Like, I mean, actually, to be fair, they might have actually shut the channel off at 10, and then they realized, hey, well, if we just play a 2 a.m. show, people still listen to it. So that's kind of the thing. Because actually, there's one guy who's the infomercial king, and one of the strategies he said is Kevin Harrington. He's basically like, he went up to these TV stations like, hey, can I broadcast something at midnight? I noticed you're not running anything. They're like, well, nobody's gonna be watching it at midnight. He's like, okay, cool. Well, yeah, he's like, I'll buy a slot anyway. He's like, so he got like really good deals in the beginning, and then he puts like a 30-minute or like a 28-minute or whatever infomercial, and then he's just selling all kinds of products. But I'm saying, like, you just like, that's just how addicted people are to TV, and it's whether they work or not. But people just sit there and watch TV. But basically it comes to entertainment, whether it's games, whether it's TV, whether it's like, I like to stare at the wall, count the shades of gray, whatever it is, like, people will waste time. And like, maybe we're not meant to live that long, whoa,
hold on,
the goal is not to live long, it's to live while we're alive.
That is such a, hold on. Everything we do is such a waste of time. Let me start out with the biggest, easiest one. There are so many people that watch grown men throw listen, this guy literally puts a ball underneath his legs. Other grown men grab this ball underneath his legs as they're wearing the weirdest, dorkiest, tightest of pants, and then they all run around and hug each other. And then one man either passes his ball off or throws his ball away, or heaven forbid they decide to kick their ball. And a bunch of other grown men and women cheer for these people as they just throw the balls around. Like, who the hell cares? Yeah. And then we celebrate and treat them like princesses. I believe this is all coming from the Roman circus, right? Like, we all get wasted on that damn Roman circus. Anyone who doesn't know what the Roman circus is, that's, I guess, the fun Google for the day. But it's more or less just a goddamn distraction to keep you away from the morals and the morality.
Stop worshiping idols.
I had some great points that I wanted to bring up, but I forgot.
Gee, no!
So I may need a minute.
It's like the Charlie Brown voice.
Yeah.
Or the teacher goes, wah, wah, wah.
Can you say that again?
I had 3 amazing points that I wanted to bring up, but I wasn't able to.
And we told him to get paper and pencil. And what did he do? He laughed at us. We're like, damn it, buddy.
I have it on my notebook computer, motherfucker.
How's that
There
working
it
out
is.
for
Bring
you?
it up.
But I forgot. It just. Never mind. Proceed.
Oh, proceed. Yeah, we were talking. Yeah, I mean, don't worship. Stop worshiping idols, whether it's, people, statues, ideas. Just I don't know. Like, basically, like, love yourself and work on yourself, and then that'll spread to other people. That's kind of like what I believe.
Well, I think it's a balance. Like, you have to be able to balance in. You know what I mean by that? It's good to hear other. Okay, so with me, and well, I guess I get it from religion growing up, where you're taught to question everything, but then that means you have to listen. And so you have to find that fine line of listen as much as you were talking, right? And so you do need to be influenced. I feel like everything we do in life requires somebody else, no matter what. And we'll take it down to, I guess, the dumbest one, because we're talking with religion. Not the dumbest, I guess, but maybe. The Bible, right? Like, that's all from mankind, no matter what we do. When I go throw a temper tantrum, I'm going to go sit in bed, made by mankind. When I need something, I'm going to go watch a TV book. Both made by mankind. If I need to go do something, I'm probably going to get in a car. Again, made by mankind. And so, I don't know, I feel like at the end of the day, we do need help and influence. But you still got to find that balance of how much do I put my time and effort into one said thing over another. And at what point am I just like right now, I think it'd be great if a bunch of people listen in, chime in, talk, but it shouldn't be your entire livelihood. This should not make or break on who or what, but it's cool to get influences from people and then be like, all right, well, that was a damn good take.
I mean, everyone's going to have different goals and takes, so basically, I want to get to a point where I can, leave some kind of legacy and give back to people. It's something that'll perpetuate generationally, and, whether it's an idea or something that can help somebody, or even, something as basic as, hey, here's how to do math. Literally anything, and that's kind of, part of me is just figuring that out. Everyone has their own purpose, but the purpose is whatever you create. I kind of feel like now there might be some type of intervention or insight that might come to you only. I don't think anybody can tell you what you should do, at least directly. They can influence you to do something, but I could tell you about something, but I think ultimately the individual's got to decide, is that right for them? Is that going to be right for you? And if it's someone that's genuinely trying to help you, then you and sometimes it falls on deaf ears, but in other words, sometimes you can only give people just hope. That's really it. You can't make them go to the gym for you. You can't make them eat right. You can't make them practice the piano. You can't make them go to work. It's the whole idea. You bring a horse to water. You could force them, but you can't force a horse to drink, right? So, the influence only goes so far, unless you're gonna be a dictator, I'm gonna choke you out right now, or you're gonna get shot in the head. If you got a bullet to your head, you're probably gonna do a lot of things that you don't want to do. That comes an evil thing and manipulation and people using other people for control, and that's just sad. Hopefully, we're close to moving past those times. You know what I mean? About more personal freedom.
Well, okay, I think we'll tie into this for the last one. So we got about 5-10 minutes left, whatever. And, we got all these wars going on, maybe even another war. And without getting too political, I mean, China will be ready in a couple of years. It's facts. It's not really trying to get into China or Russia nonsense, keeping it more general of, there's going to be another war, whether it happens or not, it's still today. War has happened since mankind's always been around, I imagine, and it's in our foreseeable future. We aren't ready. I feel like it's trust, right? We're not at the point where I'm ready to trust you and you're ready to trust me as far as our governments go. And sure, why not? I mean, look at the American dollar. We suddenly make a new $1 trillion coin and have a new trillion. And then we want to tell these other governments, hey, trust me, believe in me. I got an extra $1 trillion I didn't earn, but hey, take it easy. What, and so with that, let's say we were on, that one Jerry show, and we were going our final thoughts, knowing that war is still going to be here. If you were, because I felt this was a good one, if you were to give advice to somebody just graduating right now out of high school, what advice would you give them to try and follow that moral high road of success with everything the way it's going? And we'll start with Vlad first, because if we don't, he'll space out.
Oh my God. One thing that you can do is what I did was I opened a little fish tank cleaning business back in New York, and I was making pretty good money, and it was pretty fun. And what I did was I slowly but surely saved up enough money to go to a different state, because I felt like the state that I lived at didn't quite fit the type of livelihood that I'm trying to instill. So that being said, the way I like to put it as saving money gradually. Do something that you like to do. Find something that I could do this with my hands, and I could make money. Like mentioned, finding things to make money, and then slowly growing towards finding what you truly want to do. College, of course, is a very helpful place to really find what you really want to do in life, and be very educated in that type of skill set knowledge and basically it just helps you get more jobs in the future, of course. But you want to work towards finding what makes you happy and make money out of it, and then grow a brand, grow yourself, and grow your legacy. Amen.
Amen. Okay.
I don't think that was the question.
No, you really said the question. That was the question.
He answered the question that did not need to be asked.
What?
No, really, no, that's some good, solid advice. I mean, I wish I had that advice when I was a kid, but also wish I knew to listen to it. Because I may have had that advice, possibly, you know what I mean? Because I'm trying to think back, it's because there's advice now that I need to take, you know what I mean? Right now in my life. But if I was 18 years ago, let's say, I still have advice that's I need to take whatever advice I know at that point with what I knew then and there, right? But it's nice to hear good ideas like that, right? Because it's better than hearing a bad idea, and sometimes you don't know it's a bad idea, but you got to try it. And what I would say is you got to do what you say you'll do. That's one thing. Work on your character. Keep your character good. Be honest, trustworthy, loyal, faithful, friendly. That's all from Boy Scouts. I'm an Eagle Scout, and it's we have this code that we go by, and a lot of it is, and that ties into the morality too we're talking about, and just little things of success is show up early to things, don't be late to, because that shows you're serious, and it shows you respect the other person's time. So it also comes down to respect. I think I'm a big proponent of respect. And then when it comes to working and stuff, it's imagine it's you're cleaning a fish tank, and I'm not an expert at that, but say you're cleaning it and you see something wrong that normally you quote unquote charge for it, but I'll just fix it for free or whatever, and then but you're not expecting anything. That's another thing. So it's you do a little extra kindness because it's going to pay you back later. Oh yeah. You know what I mean? Or it's also just do things without being asked. You don't have to ask. you shouldn't have to be asked to do something, especially if you already know, like if it comes to a job. Like if you just know, like, oh, I got to clean the toilets, but I don't like cleaning the toilets. You know, my grandpa was a janitor. You know what I mean? My little brother was a janitor for a little bit, and now he's got like 2 master's degrees. My grandpa was a janitor at a school, but also like he could go build like this whole moat thing out of like, he was very creative. It was just, anyway, so it's like, I like that. Just work towards something you like to do, and I think you have to do something to start figuring that out, rather than just not doing anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I thought that was beautiful. I thought, okay, so I feel like it's pretty, damn, man, that's so spot on. And sometimes it's doing that extra little bit, I was trying to figure out how to word this. It's doing that extra little bit without expecting anything, but sometimes you also want to make sure you don't get taken advantage of. And that's kind of one of those, the moral high ground of, okay, well, so if you did it without expecting anything, then it really shouldn't bother you, or you shouldn't care. And I get on that final thought of, if you really feel like you're doing the extras and getting taken advantage of, then you really got to start looking at yourself on what you're doing to prepare yourself to not have that happen again and again and again and again and again and again and again. That way then you don't allow your generosity today to be ruined tomorrow. Because, fine, so you had I mean, you know, I look at this in my sense, maybe a relationship way of, just because I got treated over crappy by somebody, I then need to figure out, okay, well, what do I do to remove myself from that situation and prepare so that I can continue to have my moral high ground and want to be good, happy, free, spirited, all that fun jazz. So sometimes I think that takes your own self-awareness to set yourself up for that. Some people just stay in that same funk forever, and they get beat up and beat up and beat up, and it's like, whoa, buddy, you don't gotta take that. Get yourself, yourself out of that and remove that so you can be your, I don't know, be your happy self and do your happy dance, yeah?
Yeah, you know, it's sad because some people really don't get a break. They're on that grind so hard. I know people, like, for example, like, they've lost parents at, like, 10 years old and stuff like that. So it's like they lost, like, the biggest influencer, positive influencer in their life, you know, hopefully. And then I've known people that, like, okay, their mom or dad was around, but, like, their parents were divorced, and, like, their dad didn't give 2 craps about them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's like, and then, like, as a kid got older, I don't say older, like, now the kid's, like, say, when he was 19, I remember him, like, he never learned, like, a lot of skills that he should learn from his dad, as simple as just, like, hey, can I do my chores? Because, like, if you can't do your chores, you're not going to work for a job. Because the job starts off like, hey, you're doing all the stuff the boss doesn't want to do. You know what I mean? Or whoever the manager, whatever it is. It's like, when you got to know this going into a job, especially if you're like a young guy here, your first job is you're going to do the stuff that nobody wants to do. Like my friend, he was in high school and he did the wood shop class. And so he's like got real good at, like, he made a super nice wood table. But when he went out to the real world, they're like, well, we don't know you. You just got here. Maybe you're good, maybe you're not. But the point is, we already got guys making the wood. But they're making a huge mess as far as, I mean, like, part of the job, right? The sawdust and all that stuff. So it's like he was like sweeping and vacuuming and like doing all that kind of stuff, and he didn't like it. But it's like, now he went to be an entrepreneur and did his own thing, and so that's why it's not necessarily for everybody to like go through that. Like he realized, I don't want to do this, and I'm gonna go make my own and create my own thing. But sometimes you gotta like either experience it to know like, hey, I don't like that, so you're gonna work harder and do something else on the side. And he ended up just selling cell phones and buying phones and selling phones or whatever. So like he figured out how to make money. As opposed to like, I'm just going to play video games and then just like gain 300 pounds. Some people do that too. So it's like, I would say better off to try to like do some kind of side hustle, right? But just know that if you're getting a job, it's going to be doing the crap that nobody wants to do. Then you got to prove yourself and then maybe build some sort of little trust. And then even if you're already a master at it, it's just like, okay, like imagine you're a black belt in martial arts, or not even that, just you have information that you're some belt or whatever. And if you go to a new dojo or dojon, you should humble yourself that I'm a white belt in this facility. Act like go there willing to learn something. I think that's part of it too. And then like what Matt Hatter was saying is like you don't want to be taken advantage of either. So it's like you have to develop that moral compass. Are they doing good to me or bad to me? Like
right now, watch, ready? Like right now, ready? Is this good or bad, or is this mean? I tried to jump on him. I'm like, hey, don't touch me.
There, buddy. You're the good buddy.
No.
You're one of the good buddies right here.
Yeah.
Asshole.
Hey.
No. No.
Chuck him out. Oh, no. Oh. Yeah. What's up, man?
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
That could be like the thumbnail. Like,
Okay, wait.
thumbnail,
Team
right?
photo. Like, hey. All right, we got it.
We actually got sick.
I don't know if we got it or not, but we got it. All I remember is you tried to hit me. You just gave like the most epic speech ever, and then the first thing you do is you try and choke me out like I'm Bart Simpson, and you try and hit me down like I'm Whack-A-Mole. You fucking bully.
We were literally talking about that.
You fucking bully. After such a legendary conversation, and your first thought is go primal on me. I love it.
The natural man is the enemy.
You know, I feel like we should throw some under the bus and let him do it. So before I do it, I'll say thank you, everybody. This has been a blessing. That was our time. But, you know, I mean, like, hey, let Scott say something really quick.
All right. Well, hey, yeah. Thank you all
Just
for
really
showing
quick.
up. I hope you enjoyed. But yeah, we'll be here. We're making this. I'm enjoying this. I think we're liking this. You know, hopefully we're giving you guys a lot of value. Just like thanks for tuning in. Appreciate y'all.
All right, now, Vlad, give him the long one. We need shout-outs. We need grams. We need... Come on, give us the goodbye. And we need a good Jerry Springer final last words.
Of course. Thank you so much for coming on, guys. I hope y'all are having a blessed night. Learned a lot, and it's been pretty nitty titty. So, deuces.
We'll work on his goodbye. I feel like Scott's like, oh, my lances. We'll be back next Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Pacific, 11:30 p.m. Eastern. That's right. We'll be here every Tuesday and Thursday, just like that thing says above. Make sure to add my Instagram. That's down there, the Mad Hatter TV. And then over there, we got the Scott Warner Instagrammer. And then we got the Dink, the Rivski. We also have our own at the DTLV Good Guys, so make sure to check that one out as well. Hopefully, we'll start using that more. And, yeah. God bless each and every one of you. And have a nice day. Yeah, that's right. I say God bless you, even if you don't want to have it. That's right. I said it. No takesy backsies. Bye, everybody. Oh my God, yo, you know what I haven't done in a long time? Like a long time. All right, we're driving out of here. Beep beep. Oh, don't hit the wall! Don't hit the wall! Oh, damn it! There's another wall. Oh, look at the wall. Oh, no! Oh, I missed it. Oh shit! It's the last wall.